Hi, good evening, everyone. Today we have with us Dr. Bhavna Badrinarayan. Dr. Bhavna is the regional head of marketing at Manipal Hospital with over 12 years of experience in healthcare marketing. Her expertise spans from branding, marketing communication, public relations, and digital marketing. We also have with us today Aarsh Srivastava, the co-founder of Gravitas AI, accompanying us to discuss how AI is changing the marketing landscape in the healthcare industry. A very warm welcome to both of you.
Thank you, Vatsal.
I'd like to start with asking you first, how do you see conversational AI technology impacting patient engagement and experience within the healthcare industry?
So, well, I think probably let me just kind of take a step back. If you see AI is something that is usually spoken in terms of ITES industry. It's really surprising that AI has been entered into the health care marketing space, and how we as a healthcare trying to capitalize what AI can do about, because end of the day, being it a product or being it a service, it all works down to your customer, right? It actually eventually meets the needs and the demands. What exactly is his objective, what is that he's looking for? So probably today, you as a Gravitas can be probably tailoring or catering to specific needs of a customer, whereas we as a healthcare, when we refer to a hospital, it could be just a service. Why exactly a person can be looking into a service segment? What exactly do you think AI can play around in the healthcare segment? So thank you so much for this opportunity. And definitely, when you talk about the conversational AI, what is the impact that it is bringing? I would say it's lot more than what I can talk about, but definitely yes. So since you just mentioned, I am from Manipal Hospital, so we do have about 37 hospitals with us, and then we have close to about 5,600, nearly 6,000 doctors. Now imagine being in Bangalore, if I need to access somebody who is present in Delhi or Gurugram. So what should be the access? How cumbersome it is. I just go, I don't even know the doctor. Maybe I know the specialty. So how do you think I can navigate, irrespective of wherever we are from? I think that is where AI has come as a boon, wherein in terms of engagement you talk about, just at the fingertip of my laptop, my phone, or a computer, if I really need to search, probably let us start with search or navigating any kind of patient, any kind of specialty or a doctor that if I'm looking for. So this AI has definitely helped us in accessing. So first thing, if you ask me, the engagement is accessibility. Second, what do I see when I talk after about accessibility? It's all about language. So gone past those days where we used to really target only English speaking, but now we have moved into vernacular. Voice mode, definitely yes, that would be the upcoming objective what we have in the healthcare. But having said that, yes, regional, the vernacular language, what better experience a person can, how I can be empathetic about it is the second approach what we did, what we have been currently using. So chatbot, virtual assistant, navigating, especially on our website, when we really have to look up what is the doctor, who is our doctor, what specialty is it, do I even know about the specialty? If I'm not really happy with one doctor, can I look into another experience? So how do you kind of really decide upon making the experience, given the information what we have about? I think that is definitely a virtual assistant and a chatbot. If you ask me to rate in a healthcare industry, that would be my answer in terms of patient engagement.
So, I'll definitely pick a lot of keywords from Dr. Bhavna's statements, but a couple of them were very important in terms of judging and understanding how the AI-led solutions can make an impact. Basically, keeping the user at the center of the solution is something which is very important because healthcare as an industry is very sensitive, and we have to be very thoughtful while we are doing solutions for healthcare and be very sensitive in terms of how we are crafting those solutions. So basically, trying to create a user journey which has got empathy, but at the same time, like the right kind of things which are required for different stages, so that the whole process-driven journey is automated through artificial intelligence and some bits of process automation. And that is something which is really great about artificial intelligence, that because we can plug this technology in into different spaces and different parts of like the process, so that these can be automated and a lot of effort, cost, and time can be saved. Plus the convenience also increases. So typically, as the solutions are built up this in healthcare space with conversational AI, we have to also look after a lot of like compliance. Also think about like how we're implementing the right kind of tone of voice in the chatbots. And we as Gravitas AI is also doing a lot of stuff in healthcare, particularly because we are into artificial intelligence, conversational AI using LLM models as well, with process automation. And that is where the solutioning which we have developed is also creating a lot of impact in terms of patient engagement and managing the experience within the industry. Having an omni-channel experience through different chatbots which are based on different digital touch points. For example, the web-based bots, the WhatsApp bots, bots on the email, and all those things connected together, coming through a single platform where all the leads are being collected, they are being managed, marketing campaigns are being run through that. Also the data is coming up of seamless management of appointment, as Bhavna mentioned about different types of locations are there, and different, like Manipal is a big entity, and so it's such a diverse entity with lots of doctors, lots of hospitals. So managing those appointments are also a very big challenge. So even for like bigger hospitals, it has been a challenge because the type of interaction which happens with from patient side is from different platforms, and there has to be seamless connection through all these platforms wherein we can get all the data together and sync up all the diaries. So we are also working in that area, and we have launched a lot of chatbots which are connected with all the entities of a business, and doing seamless dynamic appointment management with configurations and all the information about the doctors, so that if someone is booking through coming into hospital straight away and booking the appointment thereon, the chatbot is intelligent enough to understand whether that appointment slot has already been taken. So that is a kind of experience which the healthcare industry needs, and is definitely going on. Apart from that, with generative AI, a lot of other opportunities are there in terms of understanding more about the analytics, how things are being performed, what type of things people are asking, what things are patient interested in when they are more active, and also like summarizing a lot of processes inside the whole ecosystem is also very important. So yeah, definitely lots of opportunities are there, and there's a lot more to do definitely in this industry.
So whatever both of you said is truly enlightening. So I want to know one more thing. What are the kind of specific challenges or opportunities do you anticipate when implementing AI, specifically in healthcare marketing campaigns? Because this is not something that is widely known about.
Correct. So if you see, data privacy and security is definitely a paramount, right? So because everything, the conversation, what happens, where is this database lying? Is it in cloud? Is it whose property, primarily to begin with? I think the first or main the crux of the problem lies with where exactly the data is. Second one is training the chatbot. As I told you, healthcare information is very sensitive. So, as we know that when we talk about the symptoms, we are even deep diving into a symptom checker because most of the specialty does have a common symptom. So, if the intelligence is built upon for a bot, what exactly it is? Let us take example of a chest pain, right? These days, why heart attack is not very common is because they just kind of ignored thinking that it is a gastritis problem. So here we are talking about a heart problem, we are talking about a stomach problem. So now when you train the chatbot, it has to actually pick up and let you know, would it belong to heart or would it belong to chest. So this is another problem. How do you kind of train the chatbot based upon the symptoms what you're getting? So it's nothing but, see, eventually what are you trying to do? A human mind is something, plus science is nothing but your artificial intelligence. So how exactly you kind of feed the data, what exactly it reads, that is the second challenge what we see. Third is the acceptance. So what is happening is, even today in ITS industry, what is it spoken that AI or the future coming is going to replace all the humans? Is it going to be true? I would say it's not going to be true. So this is where everybody's kind of skeptical. Is it going to replace me? Tomorrow maybe when I talk about WhatsApp, would say, no, no, I already have you. I can probably create a deep fake and I can feed answers, right? That also is quite possible going forward. So that's another challenge what we see when it comes to acceptance. And fourth is again the administrative challenges, because when it comes to your AI, it is the scalability is high. So what a 10 persons, or probably the where we require a manpower of a team can be just done by one, but what happens is a continuous feeding. So there's a lot more errors that what we can definitely see or observe in this. So I think probably in collective, if I can talk about, these are the main things what we see as a challenge. And one more is our implementing with our HIS,
Mm.
that is the hospital information system. So what you see is it does not really read the problems, or it is not really scalable to such an event that it can read our HIS and come back and tell you this is where I stopped, this is where the problem is, because we have many close things that can happen in a person. So I think that is another challenge what currently we are seeing. Probably we should be able to overcome these challenges. Let's see how it pans out. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot which is being done in this space, and there's a lot which needs to be done as well. Regulations and compliance is something which is a very big challenge, especially because the industry is commercially new. Not research-wise, it's not new, but commercially the industry is new, and the type of regulations which need to exist, because we are not just playing with applications. We are working with intelligence and trying to mimic intelligence, which is a very sensitive subject. So having the right kind of compliance and regulations, even to start with a basic level, is very much important, very much need of the hour. So very rightly pointed out, Dr. Bhavna, on that one. And also in terms of implementations, so as Dr. Bhavna mentioned, that there are a lot of challenges with implementations, a lot of errors come, etc., which needs to be very carefully tackled. And we need to have a lot of user research to understand the type of personas which we are trying to implement the chatbot or the assistant for, because the assistant has to ultimately assist the person. So while we're developing solutions, there might be some cognitive bias creeping in, which is very normal, because we all work in our own spaces. We have all experiences from our lives which we put into our projects and works. But having a regular feedback loop and regularly interacting with the end user, which is the patient or the staff doctor or the hospital staff, which is the actual stakeholder who will get benefited, is very much important throughout the journey. So persona driven and led implementation of artificial intelligence with the right kind of compliance is something which is required, and that is the challenge and also an opportunity.
So yeah, that was like I completely could understand what are the certain pain points and what are the opportunities and problems that could be tackled. But one more problem that I think will arise is when we actually have to address sensitive healthcare topics. So how do we ensure that the conversational AI interactions maintain a personalized touch and have an empathetic tone? So that is what's something that is very important, and I would love to know how that could work out.
See, definitely, I think yes, this has remained a challenge, and being more empathetic is very difficult. I think we have currently, apart from chatbot, if you can talk about the more empathetic tone, although it is in a very nascent stage. So, there is another tool, as I told you, is a symptom checker. Now, all of us know a specialty as neurology. Under neurology, we have different streams. Like, for example, you have epilepsy, you have stroke, you have headache, you have many other things. Now, this empathetic, suppose now there is a question on a chatbot conversation. I say that I'm unwell. So unwell is just a wide perspective, right? So there should be some intelligence. It asks you unwell as in what? What do you mean you're under the weather? What exact? So deep diving. See, this is quite sensitive, and if I have to really understand you, I have to be more empathetic, right? So although I don't want to mention the company, but yes, that particular conversation, what we are having and where we are doing the symptom checker is quite empathetic in approach to a certain extent, where I say, okay, bye, take care. It says take care as in ensure. It just gives me a medium of what to do, a list like you should drink x amount of glasses of water, just do exercises. So where do you think the other chatbots really talk about? So I would say that yes, chatbot also is evolving based upon the behavior of a patient, based upon the behavior of any individual. Today, a patient might not be conversing, or suppose somebody, a caretaker, can be conversing. Now, the again, to understand whether it's a caretaker or a patient by himself, the conversation what they do, the tone what they use. I think probably all this is a rich study that what we have to really analyze, and evolving each time, taking this as a a learning that will help us in evolving better. But yes, keeping very being empathetic and personalized has remained a challenge in terms of virtual assistant or a chatbot through AI. But we are trying to kind of overcome that obstacle and see how better we can be in terms of engagement.
Yeah, it's a very important subject, especially as I also mentioned about the persona-led development. So I'll give you an example. So about 9 years ago, back in 2016, I'm talking about that. It was, I think, was first healthcare chatbot which I was leading on in London, and that had extended. The company for which we were working was had an extensive content, about 80 plus years of research content, which we had to train the chatbot on. And it was one of the first chatbot projects ever on that scale in healthcare segment. That's about 9 years ago. The technology was also not that evolved. So we started developing it, and we had to take multiple approaches. So to putting down these two things, the personalization and the empathetic tone. So there's a complete study which we did on the tone of voice, which we had to develop for that particular project. And we had 3 rounds of user researches with multiple people across different demographics, different ages, etc., to understand actually which type of level of tone we should be adjusting to the whole chatbot conversation. And then we had to also work on things not only which the chatbot needs to answer, but also things which the chatbot doesn't need to answer or needs to handle, which are the red flags or the conversations which are not that great. So an effective chatbot is a chatbot which is not only able to answer it with help of paraphrasing. Like someone is asking a question in a different way, you ask it a question in one way, but still ask it in a different way. So that a chatbot should be able to understand the context and meaning of it, and then get about it. Also, at the same time, like understand the red flags, the certain red flag areas. For example, if there's an abuse thrown, or something which is not very relevant for the chatbot. So how to handle that type of conversation is very important. So and we at Gravitas AI, from taking a leaf from that project, we developed our own algorithms, which is trained on about 400 million plus rows of natural paraphrasing language of human language, and based which we are using along with the LLM models. So we are taking a hybrid approach so that we can effectively manage this need of empathetic tone, plus also managing the do's and the don'ts in the chatbots. And also at the same time can be dealt in vernacular languages, multiple languages. We train about 80 plus global languages. And also at the same time, now we have started doing something which is very local in terms of managing the English conversations. So, for example, you're writing in English, but it's actually the Hindi which is written. And we have plans to go further beyond this, where we are trying to do more local languages with English in WhatsApp conversations, etc. So that even our WhatsApp chatbots are advanced enough so that they can handle the type of conversations which the user is having. Because ultimate aim of technology is not to provide the solution, but to provide the solution so that the user behavior is still not changing, and you're able to cater to that. So that is something which is very important. So ultimately the whole point of argument is that we have to cater to the user and keep it very centered towards the user while we're developing the solutions.
I think just while this, I mean, I'm able to regain, like recollect one more point is your
Mhm.
targeted marketing.
Yeah.
Like the user behavior helps in kind of designing a profile of an individual, right?
Mhm.
What kind of language? So I think that becomes more personalized. When
Yeah.
I know the audience of this particular age uses a type of behavior, a type of word, I think that really helps us, in targeting the right individuals. Yeah, I agree
Agree to
with you
that.
what you
Yes.
just told.
Yes.
Yeah.
So one thing I got out of this conversation is the more personalized it is and the more it mimics human nature is what will make it actually successful. So this was truly enlightening for me. The next question that I would like to ask you is, can you share a example of how conversational AI can be integrated in your marketing efforts, and what are the results that you have observed by doing that?
So, well, as I told you in the beginning, conversational AI, when you talk about, let me just talk about the chatbot that has really been successful. So, now I think Aarsh Srivastava did mention about the appointments. So, what is happening here is, especially with your appointment scheduling, rescheduling, and reminders.
Hmm.
So today I have an appointment, maybe that has just slipped out of my mind. So we have an alert that has been triggered through our chatbot. Hey, today is your appointment. Suppose now I don't want to attend. You want me to reschedule. Just imagine within 5 minutes I happen to decide if at all I want to reschedule or really I want to make it, or probably do I have another chance in case if not, what is my preferred date. So everything when it's available in front of you, that becomes easy for a person to decide. And also if you see from a hospital, there is more productivity. So there is an advantage to the patient that you are talking about because of this engagement. And plus the reminders what it is sending is also helping me in regular conversation. Hey, I have somebody to remind me. Who actually would remind you? Right, so this becomes a personal engagement and a personal tool telling you that hey, you have something today, to attend. That's one. But what we have actually seen, in the hospital that is doing. And some another thing is your follow-ups. For instance, today, as I told you, I just gave you an example of two cities, and we have rest of Bangalore, like your tier 2 city, which is yet to pick up, and people do want to have a conversation with us. So definitely there also, if you see, the conversational AI has really helped in the outreach programs, if I may call it as marketing and the outreach program. Definitely this is something that has really helped us, getting the patient, and again a conversation with him, helping him what exactly is required. I think these are the two main things that has really helped us in terms of our effort, and also helped in terms of productivity in terms of the hospital.
Quite true. I second that, and I've been talking to multiple people in the healthcare space, and these are the pain points which we realized when we started developing the solution for healthcare. And exactly the same things which we have developed in the platform, where we have got notifications, reminders, even payment integrations with all the payment providers, so that the payment feedback and payment notifications also going on to the patients and going to the doctors. Payment split functionality, so that like the payments can be split to the vendors, etc. as well. So as much as you go into the use case, you start exploring more and try to optimize in each and every point. So in the whole journey, there will be multiple stakeholders and multiple
Yeah,
departments through which the patient
correct.
journey goes. So we have to optimize, we have to think about that particular person, stakeholder, see what challenges they have, and keep on optimizing. And that is the approach we also taking. And as I think, same as Dr. Bhavna mentioned, that they are taking the same kind of approach, where we are actually analyzing the stakeholder and then solving the problems. Because ultimately, we have to solve the problems. Being technology, so use technology as an enabler, not just a fancy tool.
Yeah, I think that's amazing.
That was really great understanding what goes behind the scenes. Basically, this is an insight to what happens, and that is like truly enlightening. So, I have one last question for you, and this is a very marketing oriented question. So, how do you balance the use of AI with traditional marketing channels and in your overall healthcare marketing strategy?
So definitely here, if you ask me how are you doing, I would not say this is a substitute, but I would say it's complementing. So traditional marketing, even today, when I just go down, and we did have a recent survey, should we invest on digital print versus your conventional print? So when you talk about India, yes, we do have certain generation who really wants to kind of read the newspaper with a coffee in hand. That's a traditional marketing. Versus if you ask a Gen Z who is more comfortable having a phone, just scrolling and reading what the news is about, just with your in shorts about 60 words. Now, does it mean to say that I'm challenging the traditional print wherein we pay for the newspaper? There is a printing expense. So, what do you think you would choose? I would say both, because the target audience is varies, right? So, that's how, if you ask me, AI versus traditional, we have ensured that it complements both. How do we complement? We do use the print ad, in that we have integrated certain QR codes. So now when somebody scans the QR code, obviously you would have your conversational chatbot that comes into picture, which takes over. And plus, if you see the timings what we have given, obviously the chatbot is tuned to your 24 bar 7 access. So even the print today, if I've read the newspaper in the morning and I don't know when to, probably everybody would get free only in the evening or late night. That doesn't stop them from not knowing what the campaign is about. So am I really dedicating a resource there? I'm not. But I'm using this AI tool which helps me complementing whatever the campaign is about. So the effort of the campaign has its fulfillment by the course what we do. Also in the patient wait areas. Suppose I want to know that what is there today in Manipal that I can learn about. Probably the AI what we are talking about. Suppose somebody is interested. Do you think AI actually has an influence? I can just make a story out of it through a QR code. So today, if I can publish this through a QR code, imagine person getting a knowledge just through a QR code, where there's a conversation that is happening. What are you actually interested? Are you interested in this? Let me take you through that. So I would say yes, definitely the traditional marketing still would continue, where the expense could be more, but at the same time complementary would be your AI tool, which we see as a powerful integration, and that has proven the success of the healthcare marketing today.
Yeah, totally agree to that. And like it, everything has to be complemented together. We can't use one to like go away with the other, because as Dr. Baba mentioned, stakeholders are important. Your like target segment is important, and the basics when you go to the MBA colleges. So it's also when you get read about STP modeling. So that is how it's implemented. So very like true, and in not in only this case but every case wherever technology is being infused, we have to like do a like fusion of everything together so that we can reach out to the right kind of stakeholders at the right point of time.
So your answer definitely showed me how to strike the perfect balance between like traditional marketing and AI. And it was like you just tore off a page from your handbook and gave it to me. So this was truly a insightful answer to this question. And these were our questions for today. We really enjoyed having you, and thank you for joining our live session. Thank you to the audience. Thank you to Dr. Bhavna Badrinarayan. Thank you to Aarsh Srivastava. It was a wonderful session on how AI is changing the marketing landscape in the healthcare industry. We hope that the audience gained some valuable insights, like I did, into the revolutionary role of AI in healthcare marketing. And stay connected with us for the expert discussion that we have and innovative ideas. See you next time.
Thank you so much, Vatsal. Thanks you so much, Arsh. I think it was great getting connected and having an insight about what would be behind scenes, because you're always at the the prima facie by throwing problem. This is what we want. We don't
Yeah,
know what code gets written and what is that you need, but we want this. But I think it was quite elaborate from you to having known that there's so much that goes behind the scenes. Thank you so much.
yeah, it was great to have you with us, Dr. Havavna, and we'll stay in touch. Okay,
Thank you. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Bye, Vatsal. Take care. Take care, guys. Thank you.